past 10 years, we have dealt with over 300 brands, and we understand one common thing that today's market that we are focusing on. We want not the global brands, but brands that want the global reach. And who are we talking about here? The SME market, entrepreneurs, new marketing professionals. There's a huge gap between theoretical marketing and practical ones. And here, we are bringing you more practical inputs in the lifetime case study, using lifetime case studies. And that's what PKSP is all about. That's our vision. We want to empower more people. We want to empower more entrepreneurs. And we want to educate and advocate that branding is more important than anything else. You need more reputation now. If marketing business, sales is just not enough. You need long-term approach, long-term businesses. It's all about your quality and your reputation. And that's what branding is all about. So ask yourself, if you think you'd like to agree with me, you're talking to the right platform. Log on to our website, log on to our social media. We are there to comfort you. We are there to educate you. And we want to make sure that we are lined up with lots of series of workshops that is catered for your market. It's redefining.
Good evening, I'm Claire. I'll be your host for today's session. Thank you for joining us despite your busy schedule. It really means a lot to us. Today's topic is finding your brand voice. Our speaker for tonight, Mr. Prasad Kanagras, will be sharing some tips and tricks on this. So let's get to things right from the beginning with some house rules. So there will be strictly no relevant or negative messages on the chat room. We may remove you from the session due to that. No e-certificates will be provided for this webinar. And we recommend that you get the audio high in volume for video viewing purposes. So how did this all start? Well, PK Speaks was launched in 2019 with the sole purpose in helping SME businesses grow their brand and conducting trainings and workshops. In 2021, PK Speaks conducted free webinars during the pandemic and have successfully held 24 webinars. This year, 12 webinars were planned, one for each month, in light of our slogan, Long Vision, Short Steps. All trainings are led by Mr. Prasad Kanagras, better known as PK. So a little bit about Mr. Prasad Kanagras. He is a brand guru, a brand strategist, and a certified trainer with over 15 years of experience and has worked with over 400 brands globally. He is passionate about branding and has written a book about his experience titled Brandology. So Brandology is about advancing branding perspectives through the marketing lens. For those keen on learning more about branding and marketing, you can pre-order the book. Our moderator will share the link with you in the chat room. So without further ado, let's invite our speaker for tonight, Mr. Prasad Kanagras.
Thank you very much, Claire. It was indeed a very smooth introduction. She's one of our very bubbly girl who also does amazing work when it comes to designs are concerned. I hope all of you have voted. And thanks again for coming here. I think I see quite a number of very familiar names. And after some time. And also we apologize for a small glitch on our design. We didn't mention what is the time zone in our design. For some, I think for somebody who's from away from Malaysia, I think they did. Thanks Saura for giving me the heads up. We will make sure that we focus on that in the next one. This month has been equally very tiring and very busy month for us. To be frank with you, it has been a very heavy month for Malaysia. For those who are not from Malaysia, I'm very sure you guys know that we just ended our one of the most fastest elections and also longest time to form a government. It is all for good, nothing to complain. We are equally having fun. I think Malaysians are equally also waiting for a day off eventually from the new government, as usual. But more than that, a lot of things been happening. I was actually contemplated to tell my team, shall we postpone this webinar today? But after seeing the amount of work and preparations was done by the team, I think it's not fair to them. And I'm sitting down. So the credits for the whole session today, I think we should be given to the team. Thank you very much. I think namely Ruben, Kanchala, Naveen, Claire, and Jayanti, and the other teams also, whoever's involved. Thank you very much once again. Of course, thank you very much to all of you to be here, to keep seeing my face for the past 2 years. It's not a joke, you know. And Nef Nair, thank you, bro. I will make sure my dress code is better. Just that everything is, in a big change, challenge. A quick introduction about ourselves, point blank, dear friends. We are a brand agency. 2023 going to be a very important year. And we will be, or rather, we have already launched our next team, like what Claire said. Our motto was once, no one wins unless everyone wins. Subsequent year, we said long vision, short steps. And next year, our motto is actually your brand matters. So I will explain this on the next webinar, which is going to be very important webinar to those who are here. Please don't miss out. Don't miss the webinar out, because it's going to talk. We are talking about the real change that is taking place in 2023. And this probably would be an annual activity that we do on December to say what's happening in the next year. What should you prepare? But I think the growth rate of digital and technology world when it comes to marketing has way much bigger percentages compared to the previous ones. So, my dear friends, this is going to be something very important. Come get that insights for free, and I try to use it, because it is beyond making money. I think one of the biggest lessons that we have learned over these 2 years is making money can be so easy, but making friends and long-lasting business relationships is not easy. So branding has definitely something it definitely plays a very big role in making sure this happens. And I take pride in whatever I do. I know whether people accept or not, but we are very brand focused person. So if you have any ideas that you like to share or come out with, I think talk to us. We definitely will be able to give you a good inputs and guidance to make it happen. Yeah. And our coaching models, you know that I've started my coaching journey as well as a certified coach. Very importantly, I would just like to highlight, if you know any doctors, we are launching one of our very important series for the doctors, especially on their LinkedIn journey. So that's going to be another big thing that I'm talking about. Any CEOs would like to realign your marketing department as per your desired goal, I think it is time for you to talk to us. We can actually help you out on that as well. Yeah. And also our research team is getting stronger. We will be demonstrating more later on part. I hope that will be also another add value to all of you guys. Now, as usual, as we start, we always have a poll. Not the pole dance. I wish I can dance. Trust me, I can. But the pole might look too small for me. So for a change, as usual, I have 5 questions that I want you all to look into. And let me just start the poll. There you go. I am launching it. Okay. Please answer these 5 questions quickly so that we can look into it faster. 1 more minute to go. The 30 more seconds. Please don't copy or try to look for Google for answers. Just answer what you feel is right. Nobody gonna know your answers. Yeah, it's gonna be a I just want to know. There is no right, wrong, very much in this. 15 more seconds. Okay, let me just end the poll. Let me just go through the questions. What do you understand about brand voice? 20% says it's the voice lah. No one says about language. I'm so happy you all never choose this. Otherwise, I'm going to go after you. Character. 50% says it's about character. And 30% said, PK, I'm here because of this. So I have no idea, seriously. Okay, not bad, not bad. Okay. Number 2, do you believe that the manner we engage with our customers make a huge difference? Everyone says yes. Okay. Not a bad question anyway. Third one, consistency in the way you project our way of communication. Sorry. Consistency in the way project, something is wrong with my, in the way we project our way of communicating related directly to our target audience. Without understanding my questions, I see 90% have said yes. Not bad. Sorry for the grammatical error. I probably might be very sleepy when I do this. Which newspaper do you prefer to read? This is also a good question. I just so wanted to know this answer, guys. I think 50% said the Star. The rest, NFT and everything seems to be 20% and 10%. Okay. Okay, not bad, not bad. Please, you all don't say I don't read anyway. Brand friendliness achieve greater results when we have perfect ambassadors or mascots to represent. 50% says yes, 50% to a certain extent. Again, I got some small mistakes in my English here. I'm so sorry, guys. Yes, 50% says to a certain extent. Ambassadors not necessarily give me a better results. Okay. Mascots also doesn't give me a better result. Okay, fine. Probably you may not be wrong, because I said it's all about the strategy and the purpose. We have a mascot, but when we don't do justice to the mascot, no point. You know, when you don't have mascots, and then you have all the campaigns that mascots can be a very good thing, also make a difference. Like you see FIFA. Now, when FIFA has a FIFA World Cup, if they have a mascot, probably may not be so useful also. It can be just another cosmetic attachment, no, on a global level, because it has to attract, unless you have if again the whole FIFA World Cup has to come out with a new campaign by saying that, look, say no to racism, and they come out with one particular mascot to represent this particular cause. And if they use it and if they promote it well everywhere to explain the purpose of the mascot and the representations of the mascot very correctly, now that mascot works very, very well. So it's again about the purpose and everything. Now, moving forward, explaining that our topic of the day today is actually brand voice. I think our colleagues, initially we had different plans, different topics in mind, but I just felt that this can be something that useful for those who are starting businesses. And I see a lot of new entrepreneurs, new brands are being created lately. And I thought that this could be something that you want to look into, and hence the whole thing came about. What is your brand voice? Finding your brand voice is very, very important. I think we have our very favorite colleague in the office called Kanchala. You know, when I call her Kanchala, that means she knows that PK may not be the good mood. When I call her Kanchu, she knows that I'm okay. But if I start using a tone like that, Kanchu, that means she knows I'm in a good mood, and this is the time she can demand for anything. You know, what I'm trying to show here is a very simple 3-way of calling same person, but it reflects differently. This is a fundamental method of anyone communicates, a human being communicates. Like father, like how Russell Peters, somebody gonna get hurt, So it's common to use voice to communicate. And the thicker the voice sound, the thicker the matter can be. And I think experts like MCs all do, sometimes they raise the voice strong to attract attention. So, the irony of how to use a voice to effectively communicate and convey a message in the right way is very important. I need to explain this. You all must know that. If I'm going to tell you you're a beautiful person, hey, you're beautiful. You're beautiful, man. You are beautiful. It makes a lot of difference, isn't it? If we humans are dealing with such tones and such voice to deal with people, to communicate the right thing, the right way, using the right tone. Now, brands are also equally important to communicate because the brands are still communicating with not robots, humans. So they should sound in many ways so that they know that this is how you can communicate with me. Don't get confused with creativity, value proposition. I had this small discussion earlier even with my team. We had this lines drawn. I say that the differences between a value proposition presentation versus setting up a unique selling creative points, highlighting your comparative advantages, saying why you're good, what is the outcome, what is creative, and versus what is your voice or tone has not much of difference, because it is very much interrelated. It is very much interrelated. So we got to understand a brand voice is actually to show you your actual distinct personality. This is the person. Sometimes when you talk to certain people, you get excited. Certain people, you feel very scared. Certain people, you feel very committed or serious. Certain people, you feel very motivated. Certain people, you feel like praying to them. Certain people, you feel like running away from them. It's because the way they project their personalities, and the way they project their personalities in certain ways also dictated by the way they communicate. So how the voice is being said. So exactly the same way, can you imagine brands like a very powerful, strong brands like BlackBerry sound very feminine. You probably will never imagine a tone such way. So sometimes this tone management is very important, where it actually reflects the personality. And why is it very important? Because in many ways it attracts the similar personalities to be engaged. That's all. I give you a classic example. I think in many ways, NST has always practiced a little bit different personality or tone or voice versus the Star, or even for that matter, the Sun. So it's important because I think NST at many ways, they do cater to the youth market, no doubt, but they have never let go the essence of their journalism, or rather the essence that they know that they have veterans or senior citizens are very much into reading NST as well. I mean, this is something that I think is very hard to differentiate, but it's very important. Yes, Arman, positioning is definitely not a wrong idea, but positioning is slightly different from this. Positionings are met, or rather, brand positioning is done much stronger when your voice is very much accurate, or rather, well carved to actually speak to your communities. So this is what brand voice is concerned. Now imagine this: you are at dinner, you are at a dinner party, and a guest stands out from the crowd because they are great storytelling in a distinctive, unique way. The flow of their words, the language they use, and the personality all combine to make a memorable experience. When you retell this story, this person will come into your mind. That personality is actually their brand voice. That is how they portray, and that is how they are said. So this is how your brand. It is pretty much related. Let me just share with you something, some campaigns that I think, or some brands that I think would be very good. I'm sure you all know Tiffany. Trust me, I know 3 Tiffany's. One Tiffany is this brand. Two other Tiffany's. Two beautiful girls I know. Um, okay, let me just not go too much. I might get into trouble. So Tiffany is another brand that has set a little bit different benchmark when it comes to jewelry is concerned. I mean, we can talk about several jewelries in the market. I think in Malaysia, we are very famous with Pokong. Go to the Indian side, Madras jewelers, everything. But nothing beats a moment when you actually talk about Tiffany. Tiffany has its own unique experience by itself. And the way they always emphasize on how it moves and how they capture their ads, how they use their way of talking. You don't see Tiffany's customers, or rather whoever the customers is, but when they go and deal with Tiffany, the way they expect and the way they know how to differentiate this brand versus that brand. And this is posh, this is elegant, it is all about being witty, and this is what this brand is all about. So the way they sell, they make it very simple. Look at their font and everything. The way they communicate their content and everything, very simple and set. And they use great people to actually express how can you connect with me. Look, I'm not going to put funky people, actors there running away with the brand and with the jewelries, and then fall down, somebody take you up, and then because it's so, you get married. We have this kind of ads all the time for when it comes to jewelry is concerned. But they don't do all these things. They keep it very simple and straight. They make sure that they stand out in a different way, and people remember them whenever they see this brand. I think this is another classic video I'd like to share with you on sometimes and how people project in a very indirect way. It's a personality with us. This is not just simply a voice, but also a combination. But I think it is worth watching. Check it out. See, look at all the images, who they use, what kind of videos, what kind of expression, happy life, luxury life, think big, you should be. It is meant to be expensive, and this is the expensive life you should go for. When look at how they portray the whole thing and how they position the product. It's not about her voice, please, huh? From the car, from the house, from everything. They connect it. Now, this is the mode of how they position themselves, and this is how they actually talk about it. See, very simple, straight words. They don't talk too much. Look at Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, in many ways, they had so much of controversials when it comes to whatever they use, whatever content they use. But whatever said and done, they project happiness. They don't really get so much into sports or whatever, they show happiness. When you drink my Coke, especially in the movies, you think, and every single word they choose, how they set the whole tone, they make sure that people know that, hey, if I'm going to be, I can easily associate Coke with happy events. Now, next one. And look at this. How they project the whole thing. And sometimes they bring in they bring in visuals and also videos, or even when they connect animals to it. But again, this expression is also sometimes you can also when it comes to Coke, there are certain controversies too happens, during the Gaza and everything. That is crisis management. But in general, overall, regardless of what age, this is what they're trying to project. Yeah. Starbucks. Today, there is no world that has never been to Starbucks. Huh? Anybody, if you don't like to go to Starbucks, come and see me. I got a big voucher, I can give it to you. Yeah, I was just kidding, by the way. So the way they project it, how they speak, how is their language tone? If you really look into many, today we have several coffee houses. I don't even remember this coffee houses, that all these new ones, but not bad, equally good. But something is always special about Starbucks. Sometimes when I want to meet some friends, I think despite of all these vouchers and goodies, and I'm the avid buyer of all the annual goodies, of Starbucks. But whatever said and done, I think they make sure that they make you feel different. I feel comfortable. They sell comfortness. They make sure that we don't simply go there for the sake of coffee. Coffee is the last option ever. Nobody has said Starbucks coffee is the best coffee in the world, yeah. But the experience, the moments that they're creating for you, it's a tone that they're trying to tell you. Look, you come here, you can do a lot of things. You can be happy. I promise you, good time. And that's about Starbucks. Kit Kat. To those who have never, now I see this picture, I must go and buy one later. They use their entire different approach. Look at this. Take a break. So it is very much related to the way how it is being positioned, but the way they always convey and the way they talk every time is all about taking a break. They don't talk about being a patriot. They don't go for empowering. Come on, Kit Kat, you can do this. They don't sound that. They're very driven by taking a break concept. And this one of the most consistent marketing campaign. Kit Kat is doing well because of that as well. Now, the whole world knows this. If you have never tried this, it's time for you to go for one, And I think they are the most classical, very powerful brand that has in many ways demonstrated attractions from the very young age itself, kids. And kids, they just know how to deal with them. I mean, they know how to deal with kids. And I tell you, we can learn a lot from MACD and the way MACD use it, the font, and they will never talk about anything. Of course, today with the diversions market, when it comes to drive-throughs are concerned, so they do a little house check to make sure that we also cater to a little bit adult market, but nevertheless, their main focus is always to make sure that they communicate using gift. They communicate using. You have seen the Minions. Minions was one of their strategy. See, they know that this is something catered. I love Papa. I want to go there because I can get some gift. The way they attracted them is very important. And I tell you, Ronald McDonald, is one great idea they always had. To those who feel mascot is never the best idea, this is a classic example that you all must understand, and that this works. Now, the relation between brand personalities and brand voice is not much of a difference. This slide will show you that, look, this is how they actually shows their character. Look, this is how I am towards my brands. If you want to talk about Volvo, I'm talking about competency. I'm talking about making sure that, look, I am super safe all the time. I am always the best among others. You can always define on me. So I'm talking about luxury, sophistication. You see, Tiffany falls into this plan, and Rolex, Gucci. So they always put in their so-called characters. These are the people, these are the community that I'm really looking for. You're talking about rugged. Jeep is one of my favorite brands, by the way. There you go. I use Jeep clutch. I use my Jeep pouch. I got my Jeep bag. It's not so expensive, but I find them so cool, and I love the ads. So this is how people eventually will be fine-tuning a brand personality. I will go a little bit more details on for you guys. And why does it matter? Some statistics they're probably gonna substantiate whatever I'm saying is color do matters. So sometimes your voice and the tone of language with colors sometimes makes it very, very impactful. The word color psychology, to my experience, the word color psychology is something completely very, very challenging today because uh, different personalities have different perceptions towards colors today. I think because of the rise of technology and everything and options of multiple colors being used in every single interfaces when it comes to internets and websites, I feel the impact of colors are slowly changing. That's why people say never use blue for color, water, beverage drinking. Hello, come on, Pepsi is doing very well. So it is very subjective and very arguable, but the point that I'm trying to make right here is if you can consistently stick with certain colors, I think a brand can speak well with customers. I think that was one of the biggest challenge even we had during the political campaigns. We did one work for one of our clients, and he was rather an independent candidate, which is definitely a slim chance to win. We knew it's happening, but we wanted to just have a test. He wanted to taste the water. And along the way during the campaign, the color was our biggest problem. Our tone and our voice was very inspirational, very rejuvenative. We wanted to sound as the future, but we also wanted to make sure that, look, everybody's talking about the same thing. So how can we sound, or how our voice, our brand voice can be a little bit different? So we actually highlighted his profession as an educated person, as a doctor, as a big time surgeon. And we actually portrayed that thing. And we received actually quite a reasonable response to it. For that matter, the results was expected, very highly expected. And but we are very happy to know that our choice of voice to this campaign was pretty much accurate. And I thank my team for that too. It takes about 50 milliseconds, 0.05 seconds for people to form an opinion about a website. So sometimes what you say is actually what you represent. Your first statement is very important. And that is something that a brand voice do impact. 40% says memorable content, 33% says distinct personality, and 32% said compelling storytelling is a very important thing. So how you tell the whole story in a very narrative method that you're using is very important. And that defines who you are. Just imagine, I hope I'm interesting, but just imagine if I started saying that, just like, we have this, I still cannot digest why, but there is one channel in India that my mom used, South Indian channel, news channel, they will always say, I mean, you can always say, I'm sorry, Nev, you're here. When we are making announcement about news, next news you're going to have tomorrow, it's all about the World Cup, FIFA. No, this is how this is the tone people normally use, but this particular brand, to announce the announcement of the city, India Talipe, Naliki Sedi, this is how they actually say. I still don't know why they're doing that. But you know what? It has been a very common tone that people are very used to it now. So sometimes the way we articulate the whole storytelling process, your brand voice, do make a big impact in you being a differentiated, or even for that matter, being remembered. 75% people recognize a brand by its logo, 60% by its visual style, 45% by the brand signature color, and 25% by its unique voice. Now you see the combinative of all this makes a brand simply beautiful. Without the brand voice, I think the perfection is not going to be there. Some famous brand voice that I would like to share with you guys, Nike. Guys, Nike has never failed to talk about inspirations and empowerment, positivity. You have never seen them talking about anything else, Every single visual, every single promotions, everything is very positive and inspirational driven. That's why it relates so well with their tagline, just do it. This is one classic example on everything. You look at the messages, even in this very nice picture, has been done. Belief in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. It's all about go all out, kamikaze. They are always inspirational. If sometimes when you see their ads itself, I feel like, oh, I think one of the methods for me to lose weight is keep on showing Nike ads all the time, so I'll be okay. Look at Rugged Way, Harley Davidson. This is the bike that I'm always having in my mind. Every year I have my goal to achieve, but somehow or other, I myself disconnect myself with this. But next year I must go all out for this bike. No, it is very strong and aggressive. It portrays a good thing. You send a message to the market. Hey, look at this. Whatever bike you take, Harley Davidson is always a Harley Davidson. I am cool. I am rugged. Those kind of things. So, whoever going to associate with this brand, these are the mentalities of people. These are the people that have the same characters. Proud and exclusive, fought whatever said and done. You see the ad. They've always been a very proud person. So they make the customer feel the same. Premium qualities. They talk about quality, 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 quality. They don't compromise. Evocative, direct, and joyful. As I explained to you, Starbucks, you even see the way they name their, their menu, iced, shaken, awakening. Cheerfully chill. I feel like drinking. It doesn't matter if you got hypotheticals. Sometimes it's worth dying for these kind of drinks. You know why? This is how they sell. This is how they actually communicate with you. Just imagine the same ad you see, iced tea, smoothie, pink smoothie. No, it doesn't make any difference. So sometimes the way you project it, of course, your copywriting do play a role here. This is the combinative. The copywriting should be very much driven by the expression and the characters that you have built in you, the way you talk. Simple as that. Dove, beauty is for everyone. Dove says, look, you have to just walk all out and know that for a fact, nobody can be not beautiful in this world if you choose to believe in yourself. So this brand tone has always been very uplifting and very empowering. I would like to share with you this voice chart. This is something that also, I'm sorry, this is taken from internet. I didn't put the source here. This is not our internal. Point blank's brand voice chart is not available at the moment, but we will soon will be sharing this soon in our social media. Please check it out and follow us. Naveen, please take note of this. But nevertheless, I thought that another way of showing a clearer brand voice chart is this is how you look into it, because this is the value you are talking about. This is the value creation I'm creating. Look, I am the leader. I want to make sure that I want to speak as a leader. I want you to speak for a community. I want to speak for I want you to be very learning. If this is my purpose, if this is what I'm going to demonstrate my value, now this is how I should sound. You see, like a very classic football. My biggest inspiration, one of my biggest inspiration, Klopp in Liverpool. You see, he always tells you, if I have to be a father and knock the heads of all my players, I will do. But if I have to be a teacher, I will also be there to teach you. But at the same time, if I want to celebrate great moments, I want to be a friend, I can be a friend too. The role goes as per, the tone goes as per the role that you take. So if you have a brand and if you have a role to play, and this is how the chart should look like. How you actually want to set the standards. This is how I'm going to talk to you, because this is how everything should take place, and you should perceive me correctly. So if I'm going to be very community driven, I'm going to talk to a community, I should be very welcoming. So my tone should be very welcoming. If I'm going to be teaching you, I should be very authoritative. One of the reasons why, if you all see in my, when I reply someone, if I put my signatures in my signatures on my WhatsApp or even my email, I just put PK in a small letters, but only in PK Speaks logo. For that matter, even our point blank logo, if you can, initially we had it very small. See, but because we have taken the coaching role, because we have this teaching role, we got to be authoritative. So authoritative comes with the capital letters. So this means this is how we're going to communicate. So you're going to be very authentic, you're going to be self-assured, reliable, I got to be positive. So I dictate this, and what I should be and what I shouldn't be. Also very important. So this is a chart that expresses how a literal brand voice can be also looked into and be guided by. Yeah. Now, the $1 billion questions: how do I really develop my own brand voice? And how do I start this PK? I mean, I clearly understand, but what am I going to do next year? So there are 5 important things that you guys can do. If you have a brand and if you like to literally start a brand, or you even for that matter, you want to realign your brand purpose with a nice, proper marketing method with good, very good, perfect voice tone to it, personality to it. I think the first ever one you should do is identify audience and persona. You must see, greatest marketeers always knows who is their customers are. If you don't know who is your customer is, you will never be able to do this. And buyer's persona is a very important terminology that has been done in internet marketing today, because this is how you understand and describe your customers. So please identify them. Check what kind of age are they. You can't be talking to a very old man, hey, yo, what are you doing? This is all doesn't work. So you need to really get your correct market audiences right. See what kind of lifestyle are they into. Are they into the party type, or are they very spiritual? You can't be you can't be coming out a spiritual brand to be in a party mode. What's that? Let's go for the party. Let's go and pray, man. And it doesn't work that way. So you got to really find it right and make sure that it is very accurate. So make sure that the language you use is connectable. It does resonate them correctly. Yeah. Number 2, audit your current tone. There is never the right way to do things. It's always we fix it. So keep checking whether do people literally catch your messages right or not. If your tone is really working well, are you inspiring enough? Like, for example, sometimes certain brands, I notice that when they sell or when they even use their social media content, they tend to talk about negative things. They only talk about the problems. If you don't wash your face 2 times, your face gonna be wrinkles worse than the mud. Come on, man. You can either use this method, or sometimes you can change the completely personality and happy zone. Wash your face every day and and stay happy all the time. It's the same thing. But because you have changed your tone, this tone might be something that people might want to know. Hey, this company is very inspiring. So any inspiring new statement or activities or tips you put, they will respond to you. So re-look into your tone, see whether it's working or not. Sometimes authoritative teaching can be very good. Sometimes can be very community, can be very welcoming. So you can decide this, but I think experimental methods are very important in this to find out this one. Third one, make sure that you know your tone. You have set your tone right, and if you don't communicate as it is, also it's wrong. We set one tone in Point Blank, my dear friends. I think the word Point Blank was derived because of my terrible character of being point blank. I'm a very straightforward person. I mean, I'm not a rude guy. Yeah? Some people see I am, but to those who feel I'm rude, too bad. But I think I'm a person who rather tell you straight. Means if I find it wrong and it is not right, I will be the first one to come and find any kind of ways, any means to make sure that you know that. Not to say that in front of everybody, you are wrong. I don't do that. But I'll come and tell them, look, I would like to have a word with you, but I will never leave that place until I really get this sorted. And eventually my clients, I believe most of them agree to that. And it took me a while to get that established, but today we are very happy. We also set the tone very right. We are very serious workers. We are very passionate. We are very committed. But after 6 hours, they called me, I'll never answer your calls. Because I got my own life to go. But during 9 to 6, I'm all out for you, my dear. So we make sure that these characters were created. And we communicate accordingly. And we communicate very passionately. So our content that you see on social media and everything, we show passion. We know And my guys, we all always show that what we do is something that what we love. Then once you set your tone right and be consistent, plan it to be consistent, always do your audits and make sure that you document it. This is what I talk. You know, one of the biggest mistakes of most of the brand planners, we don't have our own brand manual out there. And I really urge you all to consider this. If you don't know how to create a brand manual, I think more or less one fine day I'm going to talk about that, developing your own brand manual. Kanchala, please take note of this. It just came out of my, I mean, it's part of the moment. But I think it will be a good topic to talk about because many people out there, as far as I know, when I talk to any brand owners, do you have your own CI or brand manual? No, la, bro, must do one day. Then one day will never come. So to those, I think we will have a solution to this. We can always do it correctly, especially when you're a brand practitioner. If you don't practice it, don't even bother with it. Yeah, practice it. That's when it becomes a good manual. Yeah, and review and adapt. The changes will happen from time to time, but it doesn't mean that you don't change. Yeah, you have to change accordingly and always keep reviewing, check with people, see the way people respond, and do your surveys and feedback with your customers. You probably will know. Do you like the way we engage with people? Do you like my messages, my captions? You know, it all makes a lot of difference. Yeah. Some important tips I'd like to also highlight to you guys. Number one, stay consistent in your creative works through visual. So if you're going to demonstrate your voice, one of the best things to do is actually like how the video was done. Thanks to Kanchala for that. But just to let you know, the whole thing is actually demonstratable much better if the visuals are there. So consistency is very, very important. Number two, your brand voice defines the way how your customers speak to you. How you talk to, how do you demonstrate your way you talk, your brand speaks, determines how people will respond to you. So if you're friendly enough, you'll get friendly feedback. If you're too strict, they don't even bother replying you. You know, it's important. Do constant study on your outcome, communication, clarity, and it's not clarify. Clarity is very, very important. Get your team to adapt it to. It's more powerful when the employer brand is part of the system. So it is not about you understanding the whole concept. Make sure that whoever is part of you, your team, has to be equally adaptive towards this matter. And last but not least, optimize it to your promotion works. So make sure that it is heavily used in every single communication you do, not just in advertisements, you know, the way you sell, the way you have your t-shirts, your hashtags, whatever it is, sound cool, sound real. Yeah, even for that matter, hashtags makes a lot of difference. If you want to be empowered, your choice of words or the hashtag, this is inspire my brand. The choice of words will determine that personality also. Yeah, I hope it is useful to you, and I'm open for questions if you have any. Claire, back to you.
Thank you, PK. So we have a few questions here. The first question is, does a brand mission and vision and values play a role in shaping brand voice?
Thank you for the question. Brand mission and vision and values play a role in shaping a brand voice. Definitely, it do has a very good role in it. Especially if you the vision is, most of the brand visions and a business visions are very different. Yeah, a brand vision is to communicate and achieve these goals. So it may not have a direct relation to how do you develop your brand voice, but indirectly, definitely, because the target market is still the same. So it does. Thank you.
The next question is it wise to change your brand voice if we have been in the industry for more than 10 years?
Not a bad idea. It is always okay to change your brand voice if it is needed. So the very important thing you got to do right now is do an audit and find out whether is your communication mode, the way you're communicating with your customers, is been effective or not. there are certain questions you can ask and find out whether people respond to you or not. You see the way people how respond to your in terms of your content, your internal surveys, not with the bad customers, the happy customers. Sometimes bad customers will always give you a complaint. Happy customers will be the one will wisely give you a proper feedback. So that is important. Thank you.
What should we avoid when creating our own voice?
Not being confusion shouldn't be there. You should make sure your tone of voice is, if can, this is my professional answer. Please get an expert to validate your decisions on your brand voice, because I see most of the time SMEs make big mistakes. So look into that very clearly. Off the record, I think you should be very clear in whatever you do. You set your standards right, and if that you know that how you communicate is the reflection that eventually going to get back in return. Thank you.
The next question is, if our target audience is wide, involving a huge group of people, how can we create the right impact to capture all sides?
Well, I think technically, this is how you should see it, my dear friends. I think that it's very hard to see a brand that has this question, because, for example, I give you a classic example for a reference. Nestle is Nestle. Yeah? Nestle has always been a brand that is known as a very established brand that comes out with several number of other brands. So Nestle doesn't take the role to communicate like how Milo communicates, Nescafe communicates, or for that matter, other brands, right? Because they have created these baby brands to do its respective roles to meet the respective audiences. So one brand possibly will not deal directly with all kind of audiences, unless it's a political brand, because we just experienced one, right? Yes, you use different visuals, but the political substance of character, or rather the personality of voice, is still one. Empower. You know, if I'm going to empower, I'm going to do it all the way with the kids. Are you happy? Or is this the future are you setting for the kids? You ask the parents. Is this the future that you want? You ask the kids. You know, so the focus is empowerment. So it is still back to the first tone that you set. Yeah. So if you happen to know different market, the tone is still to be set. This is my character. You know, I think how I talk to my grandmother and how I talk to my kids, it's going to be the same thing. I am the one. This is PK, right? So the same thing. So it doesn't make any difference, but you got to focus on one. And if you are talking about more targeted market, then you create the baby brands. Thank you.
Sorry, the next question is it possible to translate our cultures as a Malaysian into a brand voice?
Definitely, yes. Translating is it may not be the right word, because that is very much towards copywriting. Like, for example, I quoted this question to Naveen. I say, bro, do not trust Google translators. They're still coming there. They can translate the whole world, but Malaysia is a bit tough. You don't believe me? If you have watched this movie called Wild Hogs, go and see what they say. You know, so they couldn't translate it. They said Babilia. So you know, that's exactly the thing. So it's not translatable. It is a tone. So this is the command. I'm doing it to communicate with you. So it is something they cannot translate. Thank you.
Okay, the next question is by Saurabh Verma. How much role a trademark plays to safeguard the brand?
Okay, I think the word he actually amended down there called role. So how much role a trademark plays to safeguard a brand? First and foremost, Saurabh, it's an honor to see you here. He's one of my lecturer, or rather another guru that I look high upon to. Thank you for coming, brother. To answer this question, a trademark is something that is so important that every single brand should have. It's like a personal insurance to us. You know, you protect your rights and you make sure that you're always safe in many zones. In contrary, In Malaysia, for that matter, Saurav, trademark now is seen as two components. Obviously, number one is the trademark part itself. Another one is idea patenting. Idea patenting sometimes can be so dangerous because great ideas are now stolen all the time. Plagiarisms are taking place, as you know, and people are stealing content, people are stealing things because we don't protect it or trademark it, you see. So the importance of it is very, very high. It's very, very important. And the role it plays is very, very important. I think every brand should definitely invest a portion of that money that should be spent to trademark their business. It is an important thing to do. How much can you protect is the question that you should go next. Now, that is very relatable back to this whole situation. I got two case studies to share with you. Number one, you have trademarked the whole thing, but if people don't even know who you are, and then fighting for it back after that makes no so much of marketing sense also. Marketing sense maybe yes, but business-wise, you got to be really famous in order for you to practice it also. So do not spend so much of money on trademark, but you don't want to promote your brand. This is the common problems I see. Another side I would like to also highlight this case study of this very good friend of mine, which is rather a very famous brand in Malaysia called Enricos. It's a ghee brand, and what he did was they had several big brands in Malaysia for ghee brand, and what he did, he patented the color, the top cover of the color of this particular brand. Of course, there are few brands, they are all in green color packaging. So in order, he realized people are confused with the color. They say this is the green one, right? Just take the green one, because the Colgate strategy didn't work. Like when I say I want Colgate, people give him Colgate, right? So this one, it didn't work that way. So what happened was the cover, he actually put in yellow color, and he made sure that he patented this in a couple of countries. And nobody in Malaysia in that particular industry, ghee, can use a yellow color cover. And at the same time, to complement this effort, he has spent so much, right? To complement this effort, what he did, he came out with the audio jingles. Not even, it eventually came on the visual TVs, but for the earlier days, Indian customers that he was actually looking for, Malaysian Indian customers, and most of the housewives were reachable through radios. So what he did, he comes with this very simple jingle saying that in Tamil he says that Pacha Tinnu Manjamudi, which means he said that jingle itself he will be thinking the boy will go to the shop. He'll say, I'm looking for a ghee. Which one you want? Our mom said this song, Pacha Tinnu. This boy sang this song to express that which says is yellow cover and green color package. Oh, that's the one. This one is your Enrico I give you. So the shopkeeper gives you the brand. So he created and he made sure that he popularized that ad to make sure that his trademark and patenting worked well, and it became a blockbuster hit. And he actually made it happen. So that's my point. It has to be a combinative work. Otherwise, it's not going to help. Thank you. Sorry for the long answer, bro. Yes, Claire, sorry.
The next question is how to make sure we sound authentic when communicating through our brand.
Authentic means original. If only three methods, if I were to give you advice. First, set your right font, choose the right image, and come out with correct, relevant copywriting. That's all. These three things will help you very, very well to make sure that your authenticity is always looked into. Thank you.
This next question is from Arman Ahmad. Can the brand voice also later become our brand identity that facilitates our brand positioning against our competitor?
Definitely, yes. In fact, Arman, this is the reason why a brand voice is so important. It plays a very important role in differentiating the whole people, everybody. Yeah, thank you.
Next is how does brand can be related with a person's attitude or character for them to succeed in their job or business?
Well, if I were to give you a classic example, I think let's take Steve Jobs as a classic example. Steve Jobs was a character that was never one to compromise quality. If you all watched his movies, he even used to throw a computer towards one of his employees because he couldn't meet the desired outcome. He was not willing to compromise quality. And that was what he showed to the world. This is what we are all about. This is what Apple is all about. And until today, when you say Apple, nobody will say anything but quality. So definitely when the moment you bring in, and I tell you, the most important thing, how you bring yourself and how you communicate with the market, and that impact develops positioning, and that positioning eventually leads you to business. Thank you.
The next question is, how about creating sub-brands to experiment certain products?
How about creating that? No doubt. See, the point here is experimental marketing. Experimental marketing is never the wrong thing. I agree with you, creating sub-brands, but make sure that you have substantial amount of promotions. See, the problem is we always try something, but we don't give out a very valid way of understanding. For example, we did this work for Domino's. This is in 2013, I think. We were given the task to work with another Singapore tech company to relook into their websites. And after creating the whole desired website with their colors and everything, voice messages and everything, we realized there's two types of design. One, either a scroll down concept or modular concept. And we wanted to know what people think. So when first we started within the core team, and we all had a decision of going for the modular. Then we thought that, hey, why we are just asking 5 people? Let us ask the whole team in Domino's. Now, I was against the whole thing, but eventually, after talking to a few people, about 30 people, they come to a conclusion of slow down. So I said, guys, I think we're asking the wrong people. I think let's do a proper survey. And ended up, we did with 400 people, different variations, customers, non-customers, we had this very professionally done. And that number of things that we did, and we equally spent a huge amount on that, and we got the answer, and the answer was applied, and it became a good success. Now, the point I'm trying to say is experimental marketing is very important, and the amount of exposure you give to that experiment is equally more important. So if this is done, I think it's a brilliant idea. Thank you.
So we have another question from Arman Ahmad. He asks, do you have an example of brands that fail in their brand voice, and why did they fail?
I wish to answer this question. There are several brands. Ethically, it's wrong for us to share negative case studies. It is like damaging the brand. I'm sorry, Arman. But yes, there are many. We have several reasons why we fail. I think one of the best reasons why people fail is no consistency. Number 2, no focus, no clarity of the audiences, or don't have right applications, and the visual impact is wrong, low creativity. So much of answers can be the reasons why we fail. So I can give you that, but brands, I'm sorry, brother. Thank you.
Okay, the next question is from Nev Nair. For businesses that focus on local culture, but at the same time want to promote it abroad, is it workable to have one voice, or should they have 2 voices, one for each target region?
It depends on the brand. I think it is a very interesting question, because it is very subjective to the industry that deals with it. Sometimes a brand, for example, I give you an FNI, for example, some brands, they know that in Malaysia, I've got to be because we have the highest majority community that eats beef. So promoting a beef era can be a very good thing. But if you have in certain countries, if there are very vegan people, they are very vegetarian centric, now the brand should sound a little bit different. It is again, it is interrelated with the character. If my character is about being a local expert in everywhere I step into, now that is the subsequent tone that I'm going to put. If I have to sound beef, I have to sound beef. If I have to sound Vegetarian, I have done vegan. If I understand vegan, I have done vegan, you know. So it can be adjusted according to the market, but it is very subjective to the industry. And but in the actual nature, our voice is actually go by the people. So your focus is your audiences. Thank you. And no harm to have two voices, yeah, by the way. As long that you're clear about people, they know this. Yeah.
So our last question so far is from Subhatra Kanesan. I would like to get your point of view on what kind of colors, labels, wordings a sustainable business, for example, beauty products, should look into without being too greenwashing. Thank you.
I think this is very subjective, but to give you an answer, I think pastel colors are always good to pastel colors. And again, if I were to choose to be striking, it is not a wrong concept also. I think the keyword here on the success would be consistent and also clarity of what you're trying to convey. Certain colors doesn't work for certain industries. For example, we had this very good experience. When I'm looking for the box, it won't be here. You know, but we had this toothpaste brand. They wanted to promote their toothpaste, and they were using charcoal as the ingredient. So they ended up coming with all black packaging. Black. Can you imagine a toothpaste in black packaging? And it didn't sell well until we sat with them. I said, look, I think no picky, then how else can I? No. You don't need to say charcoal means it has to be all black. Put back the whole box white. Put a small icon, a nice charcoal flavors, and then put the word charcoal. As long that it conveys the message to people that it's a charcoal message, it's okay. So now, because it turned out white, it attracted and people started buying. So sometimes this color psychology is very subjective on how you choose by the industries. From my immediate perspective, sustainable should go with very pastel colors. But to be very striking, you may want to have one striking color together with it. Don't stick with one color alone. Yeah, two colors is always a very it helps each other to see different marketing perspectives. Thank you.
So we have another question here from Mat Amin. Is my brand wrong if I include the purpose of the service into the brand? My brand is jongpinjam.com, Pinjaman Peribadi. Shall I change the brand or keep it the same brand? Please advise, sir. Thank you.
Your brand name is not wrong, brother. If you want to put your purpose down there, it is definitely wrong. In fact, I would say strategically you are right. Now, you are attracting those who are looking forward to Pinjam money, right? So what matters more is you should sound very professional when someone logs on to your website. We shouldn't sound like Along, money lend, very strict money lenders, serious money lenders, but rather imagine if you put up a nice, amazing pictures, happy pictures, we want to help, don't worry, money is never the only solution. Happiness is more important. Plan your money well. There's always a solution to every problem. If you sound inspirational, helpful, I think your brand image will go different. And I think it will definitely make a big impact in the way how people perceive you. And you will start getting a lots of inquiries from the right customers, not the wrong customers. Your problem, I probably will see, is sometimes these words might attract the wrong people, especially when you do it that way. So be very mindful about it. I mean, talk to me. I think log on to us and talk to us. We can always give you some inputs on this. Yeah, brother, don't worry. You can do this next year and this year also. Thank you very much.
So that's all the questions we have so far.
Okay, if that's the case, I think thank you very much, Claire, for the wonderful job you have done. I'm really very proud of you today. I owe you a coffee tomorrow. And sorry, Arman, we don't share the slides, but feel free to mail us. We will see what we can do since you want to share it with your students. Do message, email us out in a workshop at Kanchala. Can you please put the email address there? Talk to us and we'll see what we can do for you, brother. Yeah. Please have a good time, have a good day, and try to be there for the next interesting webinar, because next year we may not do monthly anymore. We might reduce it to quarterly. We haven't decided this yet, but we are seeing what we can do the best. Follow us on Instagram, please. Follow us on social media. And thank you again for your support. Thank you. God bless you.